Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week.
This week, police in Colorado announced that they had made an arrest in the case of two murdered hitchhikers dating back almost 4 decades. According to reports, 70-year-old Alan Lee Phillips was taken into custody on February 24th on suspicion of murdering 21-year-old Annette Schnee and 29-year-old Barbara Oberholzer in 1982. The women were last seen in early January of that year and were believed to be hitchhiking outside a Rocky Mountain resort town before they disappeared. Oberholzer's body was discovered by friends and family in a snowdrift on the Hoosier Mountain Pass just 1 day after she disappeared, while Schnee's remains were found in a creek in Park County approximately 6 months later. Both women had been shot. So far, police have been relatively tight-lipped about what caused the latest break in the case, saying only the DNA testing had linked Phillips to the crime. Authorities also say they're currently investigating whether he could be linked to other unsolved mysteries in the area. As of the time of this recording, it appears that Phillips has not yet been formally charged, but officials have said he could be facing first-degree murder, kidnapping, and assault.
Police in Phoenix say that a recent burglary investigation took a surprise turn after they ended up arresting the homeowner who had originally called to report the crime. According to reports, on the evening of February 28th, authorities were called to the apartment of a man named John Harbison, who requested that they check his residence for signs of a break-in. When police entered the apartment with Harbison's permission, they discovered a large amount of drugs and cash in plain view. In addition to 6,000 fentanyl pills, 392 grams of methamphetamine, and roughly $4,700 in cash, authorities also discovered a scale, plastic bags, and needles during their search of the residence. Harbison was arrested at the scene and subsequently taken to jail on suspicion of several drug-related charges. He has since been released on a cash bond of $5,000 and is due to report back in court on March 10th. As a final twist, police say that they found no signs of a break-in at Harbison's apartment.
On Thursday, police in Indiana announced that they had made a second arrest in the case of 3 Detroit men who were found shot to death in an apartment in MUNCIE last month. The suspect, Chandler Willard Harris II, was arrested on his 18th birthday and is currently being held without bond at the Delaware County Jail. He is now facing charges of murder and robbery. The triple homicide was first reported on February 19th after police discovered the bodies of 30-year-old Adrian George Jr., 25-year-old Devontae Hollis, and 27-year-old Terrence Thomas in a unit at the Elgin Manor Apartments. According to police, Harris has admitted to conspiring with additional suspects to rob the victims of their cash. The other teenager who was previously arrested in the case, 18-year-old Janiyah Yvette Simmons, was the one who initially reported the shootings to police. She has been charged with obstruction of justice for repeatedly lying to police and for removing evidence from the crime scene. It remains unclear if Simmons and Harris are connected.
Police in Washington, D.C. say that they are on the lookout for a second suspect in a string of attempted carjackings that took place in the city on Friday evening. According to reports, the suspect already in custody is a 12-year-old boy. The 12-year-old and his accomplice are accused of carrying out 4 different armed carjackings between approximately 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. In each case, a gun was pulled on the victim, and the boys demanded that they get out of the car, though it appears that the pair's last attempt to steal a vehicle was the only successful one. The 12-year-old was apprehended shortly after the vehicle was taken, and the car was reunited with its owner. He has since been charged with 4 counts of armed carjacking. Police are currently offering a reward of up to $10,000 for any information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the second suspect in the case.
This week, police in Monroe County, Florida announced that they had seized 68 pounds of cocaine floating off of the Florida Keys. They had been alerted to the presence of the drugs by a snorkeler who had discovered them while in the water on Wednesday. According to reports, the snorkeler noticed a large black bundle wrapped in tape, which turned out to contain 25 individually packaged bricks of cocaine. Authorities say the drugs have a street value of over $1.5 million.
This week, authorities in Dallas announced that one of their own had been arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder. According to reports, 36-year-old Brian Reiser was taken into custody on Thursday, more than a year and a half after a man told police that Reiser had paid him to kidnap and murder 2 people, 31-year-old Lisa Sines and 61-year-old Albert Douglas. In August of 2019, the man came forward and told investigators that he had been given a total of $9,500 to carry out the 2 unrelated killings, both of which took place in 2017. It is not known why Reiser wanted Sines and Douglas dead, but officials say that the cases were not related to his police work. Both victims were shot, and their bodies were dumped in the Trinity River in southwest Dallas. Reiser has reportedly been serving on the police force for 13 years and had been allowed to remain on patrol while he was under investigation for the murders. He is now on administrative leave while he waits for his upcoming court date.
Police in Beverly Hills say they're currently looking for suspects in a brazen daylight robbery that left 2 people injured this week. The robbery took place at a high-end Italian restaurant on Thursday, in which thieves made off with a luxury Richard Mille watch estimated to be worth as much as $500,000. According to reports, the victim of the robbery, a jeweler named Shay Belhassan, had just sat down for a meal at the restaurant when 3 men in hoodies began coming his way. One of the men pulled a gun from his pocket and proceeded to put Belhassan in a chokehold while putting the gun to his head. The other 2 men then began grabbing his arm to steal the watch. In the resulting struggle, Belhassan was able to pull the gun away from his assailants, but at some point it accidentally went off, grazing a nearby woman in the leg. She was taken to hospital where she was subsequently treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Belhassan is currently offering a $50,000 reward for the return of his stolen watch. The luxury brand is reportedly a favorite of Hollywood stars and famous athletes. Police say that they are now beefing up security in the area and that armed private security guards will be deployed around Beverly Hills.
On Wednesday, Alec Manassian, the man behind the 2018 Toronto van attack, was found guilty of 10 counts of first-degree murder and 16 counts of attempted murder. Manassian was arrested on April 23, 2018, after he drove a rental van down the busy sidewalks of Yonge Street, targeting pedestrians in the North York City Centre business district. In all, 10 people were killed in the bloody vehicle ramming attack, and 16 others were seriously injured. Though there has never been any question as to Manassian's role in the attack, the guilty verdict comes at the end of a contentious trial where Manassian's state of mind at the time of the crime was the central issue. During the proceedings, the Crown argued that he was a mass killer who knew right from wrong, while Manassian's defense argued that he should be found not criminally responsible due to his autism spectrum disorder. Ultimately, Justice Anne Malloy sided with prosecutors, rejecting the defense's core claim that a lack of capacity to empathize with the victims left Manassian incapable of making rational choices. Malloy's ruling comes with an automatic 10 life sentences. However, details like when Manassian can eventually seek parole will be decided at an upcoming hearing. That's it for this edition of Crimes of the Week. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. Thank you for watching.